chat, what is up? We got a lot to talk about. We got the recent Comicsgate drama. Oh, just, I guess you could say it sort of has a lot to do with certain arch and this is involved in it, though, and it's pretty big. Talk about just for from our standpoint, though. So, what's this Comicsgate drama?
Yeah, I really thought this is not gonna end well for a lot of us who,
No.
because the thing is, they pretty much, I pretty much had to look at this and realize how stupid they did this, because they didn't just
Yeah.
they didn't just attack a comic book writer, they attacked the publisher that was going to publish this book, because Jawbreakers was going to be put out in September, and a lot of the comic book stores that were like, there was only just a few minor complaints from comic book stores, and then I find out a day later the people who refused, one of them got attacked. One of them claimed that their store got ransacked. Someone stole money out of the store, which is like, I looked at the picture of it, and getting a deadbolt from the side of the thing, someone would have to cut it, would have to easily cut through that whole thing. I mean, they would either have to get cut to reach through that doorway to get to the deadbolt. And it's kind of weird how this happened, because they claimed that Diversity of Comics did this, and it's like, he lives in the USA. How can he come to your store and try to do this? Because he claimed that and this is what they claimed, that the money was stolen from the store. And then someone left a review on their Facebook page.
Yeah, it's just, I did hear about a comic shop got robbed. I guess no comic books were stolen, but money was stolen, though.
Yeah, money was stolen.
Someone, obviously.
And it's harder to believe that story, because it's like, there's no way in hell someone would do this.
No, no way.
Because it happened the day before, when they refused to publish this. And it's like, okay, it's official, we're publishing Jawbreakers. Because Antarctic Press kind of, decided to do it based... And this is their statement on Facebook that they said. And I do remember reading this. After careful consideration, it is our decision of Arctic Press not to release the comic series Jawbreakers. Arctic Press is a staunch believer in creators' rights, giving creators a chance to showcase their creation, allowing the creation to be judged on its merits. Many forces, and this was something that they did on Facebook, and it actually was on Facebook when I looked at it. Many forces, and many of them should be viewed as a great trepidation about how our society acts, have led us to the decision. We do not take our decision lightly, as we do believe that there should be a separation between art and the artist, and the separation has been blurred by our decision.
Yeah. In that, it's kind of like, well, we but unfortunately this is bad for us, and threatened so bad we cannot no longer support them, unfortunately, even though has a lot of great potential to grow their company, and they're not able to do it.
They're not able to do it because I know from my history with them. I know that they had tried to ask for Kickstarter campaigns for their company, especially like a few years back. I remember they asked for a lot of money to help save their company. Like, no joke. Arctic Press has, because in the 90s they were very popular. They had comic books like they had comic books like I know this for a fact. They had comic books like Warrior Nun Aurelia, Ninja High School. Mm-hmm. It was one of their big sellers, even that was popular only in Texas, and also Gold Digger was one of them too. Now, you have to understand they weren't that vastly huge in the indie scene, but they managed to get an audience in the indie scene. The problem was they tried, heck, I remember that they attempted to do cartoon shows. Like, they were trying to sell the rights to a cartoon show. Like, War Nun really attempted this. I know that Ben Dunn tried to do this with his comic Warrior Nun Aurelia, and I know that Fred Perry attempted with his Gold Digger series with Time Rift, and it was like a short little OVA series that he created that was straight to video. And I remembered there was an animation studio that came to a convention that I went to in Texas, and they were pretty much, you know, having people order the movie because some people were so big, so many fans that liked Gold Digger. I remember people were pre-ordering that DVD, no joke. And I remember my friends pre-ordered that DVD, and they basically wanted to watch that series.
Yeah. That a few presses comic books about supporting them, but I mean, I have nothing against the company, but nothing really caught my interest, though. In my opinion, I just I felt bad for them because they were being threatened. I almost was tempted to buy them, and unfortunately, they came due to pressure. I bought
their old comic book, Warrior Nun Aurelia.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but you know, things actually got juicy from the recent happenings, though, with them being threatened, because these people, let's be honest, this company got threatened all around from people in the industry,
especially comic book shops.
Yeah,
owners.
Comic book shops. Yeah, store owners. And you know what? But the thing is that what these people didn't realize is their stuff has ramifications. And we saw a lot of people's true colors. Of course, you got Eric Larson having his little opinion to say whatever. And one of our old arch nemesis from Gamergate came back because he was so butthurt and jealous of good old DNC, our buddy. You know who that guy was, JT, that came back?
Who?
Mark Waid. Don't you just love good old Mark Waid?
I don't really care about Mark Waid.
No, I mean, you don't have to care about bringing up the point. We just have to bring up the things that were said. Well, shoot, I don't got my computer's kind of messed up, so my internet's acting funny.
Yeah.
But Mark Waid things on Facebook, and so I did some speculation. Now, before I get into this, though, I don't know everything. What Mark Waid said, trying to gather, he basically was using his platform. You could say he did sort of use the Marvel brand, and just the industry to bully and put down a smaller publisher. And this is what was happening and taking place on Facebook, all around on Twitter. It was just a big, gigantic mess. Wherever you look at it, though.
Yeah, because I don't think that Mark Waid should have never done that, because it kind of puts him in a bad position. And as for Erik Larsen, I read Savage Dragon, the newest one that he did, and it was fucked up. It was so fucking terrible.
Yeah, no.
I read that thing and I was just like, you killed a teenage girl. You killed a teenage girl who was pregnant. Fuck you, Erik Larsen.
Yeah.
He killed off a teenage girl. It was so fucking. It just made me cringe. Like, ugh. Like, fuck you, Eric, man.
Never again. I mean, it was these people, man. We're trying to.
And guess whose baby.
This is the thing.
And guess whose baby was
Who?
It belonged to? Savage Dragon.
Oh Jesus, the fuck.
Yeah.
This whole thing, man, drama, man. This didn't. And you know what's funny is when these people were threatening to boycott it, John Malin, and I know Ethan Van Sciver is doing it on one of the projects, and then he's gonna have his own Kickstarter. But the thing is, like, what these people didn't realize is this is what people all you did was encourage more to check out the comic book, and more now interested to buy it. Oh wait, stop boycotting this comic book. There are people that don't even know DNC, and I told you last night. One of my friends, he's like, "What is this comics?" He it up before, and then I explained a little bit what was going on. Surely the industry is shaking up. It's interesting about it. Like, these three guys have found a way to make money and put out a very sick book. Let's just hope the comic book, we are being promised to have a great comic book, though.
Here's what Here's what I looked at this. I was looking into this and realized that they didn't kill Diversity in Comics' situation. They made him more famous than he already is. Like you said, they were very curious about what was going on. Like, everyone that was like a normal person that doesn't go on the internet, doesn't give a shit about the outside world or the internet drama that's going on. This pretty much made the comic book forbidden. You pretty much banned. You pretty much made it to where it's banned because you say that this person did this, but you didn't say anything about what he did. You basically said you just made him.
No.
Yeah.
Well, these people had no evidence, or anyone else in the Comicsgate community, and Gamergate too, whatever. And I do know that people in Gamergate were talking in the Facebook group. People shared their 2 cents of how a lot of people were pissed off. One guy was pissed off because he was tired in the industry that the industry is constantly charging for comic book 22 pages. So we just buy want to support, pay hard-earned money for like a full graphic novel that deliver. You know, you want a complete product. You don't want a product that out and then what? You wait a month later to get the next one. You know, there's a lot of inconsistencies been going on in this industry, No, it's madness.
Yeah. Here's the thing that made me surprised about this, because I'm gonna point out something, because you
Go
realize
ahead.
making it forbidden, you didn't just you trying to make it to where we're not going to make it pre-order. You realize you're going to make people curious about this book. You're going to make people, want to know what this book is about, and they're going to look at this and realize, because this is the thing I found out from people.
Uh-huh.
They try to promote the book called Pervert by Michelle Perez. So a lot of people, and I found out from the community itself that this was a piece of garbage.
It was.
It was a piece of garbage.
I saw a little bit of snippets of the book, and there were some people that didn't show everything on YouTube because it was very, I guess you could say, graphic and just detailed, like adult, and it was just bad. There was one thing that sort of bothered me about the comic, but it just these people think. But go on.
Because the thing was, the book was just about, sexual content, and the thing is, they were expecting, and I found out that the book was worth $30.
$30? Get out of here! Like,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because they're trying to sell this book, and it's like, look, compared to what you're trying to sell, I I don't know. Let me look at the sales of Pervert, because I'm a bit curious about Pervert, because this was something.
I mean, it came out not long ago though, so I don't even know if there will be sales numbers of it, to be honest. This is what's funny about that comic book. There's a line the Umbrella guy made a video about the Pervert. There was all sorts of stuff he could have gone through. He didn't go through everything, but he needs to like go through, like, nitpick and the cover in his video. But the Michelle Perez like went as to go to say in the people that read, I'm not even joking, the King James Bible or owned it, or bigots. For these people went. So you're telling that for centuries, millions upon millions of people that are own Bible or hateful people. Like, what world do these people live on? Like, are you that dense to put something like that in a book? Like, I don't know, but this is the comic book industry of today. They don't obviously care about, their people's religious beliefs. They care about their political beliefs and their narratives that they have to push.
Let's see here.
But these people can't respect every individual's beliefs. That's the problem that we're having in this industry. And this is why me and you are talking about this, because me and you and others, we're just tired of the bullshit going on.
I agree.
Like, okay. No, I'm just like,
okay.
Go ahead. What was it you were trying to pull up, or what'd you find?
All right, I'm looking at the sales of Pervert, because it says that it's sold pretty terribly. And I'm looking at a lot of the sales figures for Pervert that was released last month, from what they were trying to do, because I'm looking, because they're trying to let's see, Pervert. Let me see, where is it? Pervert.
I can't remember. I think it came out 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it might be on comic. Don't think it did well, though.
Yeah, because right now they released it. Image. I know that IDW released it. Demigod. I know that, and that was a Kickstarter, and it only sold 3,000 copies, which is sad. because I think most people didn't like that comic for some reason. Let me look at it here because according to what I'm looking at, okay, 1017. I think it was the one that they 1015. So the pervert. Because it's like a 1000 something, 1100. Because I'm looking at the sales figures for it, because I'm pretty sure Comicron has it, but it's like, it says right here, on April 18th, the list includes items of Diamond Comics top 500 charts plus 500 items. The top, okay, so Pervert is $17.99. And let's see. Let me see what the sales figures for this one is, because it's kind of hard to deal with. Like, it's at, and Action Comics is at 80 Years of Superman, $29.99. It's about shit, man. Let me look at the sales figures here, because according to this, okay, the universe. Okay, here it is. Pervert from IC2V, ICV2. It sold 1,017. Let me see. Look at it again. Pervert. Here it is. 1,030.
Jeez.
1,030.
Well, I mean, you got to keep in mind, a lot of people in the press, certain individuals and their cliques, covered that book and were trying to give it like praise.
Yeah, and and by the looks of this book, the Pervert OGMR. By Image, it looks like it's not even selling. It's only selling for 1,000 copies. Because I understand why they're doing this, and I know that they're also praising Eternity Girl, which is another one that sold about probably around 20,000, and that's beating it out. And I know that what's his name? He actually beat out a bunch of companies for pre-orders of that comic book. I know that he beat. He practically okay. He beat. Let's see. He beat out Punisher, Platoon. He beat out Deadpool versus Old Man Logan. Batman did okay. So he did okay. He practically beat out, because he sold about around 5,000 copies of that book.
Yeah,
he's selling. And he's doing pretty well for himself, but Pervert, as you can see, it's only selling. Let me see. Sales charts of it isn't doing so well, because there's no way in hell they want to promote this person who is in the community trying to desperately seek out fandom and respect, but looking at this, Michelle doesn't seem to do any good, because she's selling this graphic novel, if it's a graphic novel, at $17.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah, I can link it to you.
Yeah.
Let me give it to you on Twitter.
Sure. You know, it's kind of funny, you know, a person or any other people would get industry coverage because they push a certain narrative or whatever view, and you know the press just eats up this bullshit, you know. So we're like kind of in a point in time, you know, the press wants to act like they talk for the comic book fans, but you know these people have been like lost with what's going on. And when we look at this whole situation with DNC and John Allen, these guys have no press coverage. They didn't. But yet, isn't it kind of interesting? We're in this time now where these individuals didn't have no press coverage. Now, I'm not saying maybe with this controversy blowing up so big, other outlets, maybe possibility, maybe they might cover with the story. You know, it's like the outlets that might be, I guess you could say, right wing or whatever, but I don't know. But I wouldn't underestimate with what's going on. And these people, you see, that's the problem with these people is they're underestimating DNC. They're underestimating all of his fans and everyone. They're underestimating the comic book community. And this kind of just goes to show you, for an example, of how much these people are pushing back.
Yeah, because a lot of people are kind of skeptical of what was going on, especially the whole threats thing. Because a lot of people are getting very skeptical about it, and I'm not, trying to, put down anybody or anything like that. Because this is what's going on. This is what's going on. Basically, they got intimidated by a guy who basically bashes their comic books to hell, and he basically pointed out that these so-called, diversity hires that he calls them. Because it's true, they are diversity hires. They're just put there because they want to
fill up some quota or narrative.
Mark Waid maliciously
that's what
knowing
they're trying.
That he and his cohorts in the industry would bear incredible pressure because this is from diversity. Now, yeah. I understood. I understood that he got known around Comicsgate at the time, and he made his own YouTube channel talking about the issues and what was going on. Now, do I think it's wrong? Go ahead.
He's just a guy that was tired of the industry, but it wasn't only him. It's not like he was the first one that started the whole Comicsgate community.
He became a critic.
I mean,
he became
became a critic, and he just stuck with what he did. Let's be honest. All he does is show the comic, talks over it, and if he likes it, he'll praise it. If he doesn't, it makes fun of it. He rips it, and then he'll show off tweets. It amazes me that people are threatened by this guy. This guy, he doesn't have a movie studio like that. He's not a professional YouTuber or anything like that, but he's managed to gain an influence of people that like his content, that are interested in what's going on with the industry. And it's not only that. I mean, people in the industry, there's individuals that like him too. You have John Malin, the guy that worked for Marvel, and you have Ethan Van Sciver, and these guys have all became good friends. And that just goes to show you how much support he has, and just the countless fans that have supported this guy, But it wasn't only him. Many other people involved in the community, spoke out. We have Weaponized Nerd Rage. We have some guy, Captain Cummings, Comics Division, Douglas Ernst, and we have many people that have came and risen up ever since then.
Yeah, and I understand that this is something that is going on right now. That sure. This is between. I know that this is between the business in itself and the fact that they had to make a tough decision, and they had to make a harsh one to let go of Diversity in Comics Jawbreaker's book, which I know that I know that his name is Richard Meyer.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, and most people call him Zach as a joke because he does that.
Yeah, Zach. Yeah, even who else knows him too is Mr. Mediker knows who he is too. He's talked about him too before on his YouTube videos.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's no big deal. I don't really think he's a bad person. I think most people are getting upset with him because of the fact that he openly criticizes the books that people make, and the fact that those books are because he is brutally honest, because he checks the business the business sales of what is selling right now, what is trending on sales charts, and he basically talks about this, that they're not selling well. And the fact that indie comic books are a niche market, you have to build that audience, even if it's like some of these indie artists or independent creators are getting upset.
The problem, they're getting upset because this guy has openly criticized this. He's openly criticized the comic book industry, and now isn't it weird and kind of funny that he's teaming up with, I guess, two other guys that are in the industry. Ethan's doing cover work for him on his Jawbreakers book, and then you have John Malin that's doing the artwork for the book. These are industry guys that are helping him out, and they're putting out this book, and it's still... Can you check the Indiegogo, see how much money it's raised?
It raised $200,000. I know that for a fact because I
it still...
Let me check if it's still going.
Okay, is it still going? Yeah. Because he was still receiving some money as threatened.
Because I did donate $25 to this, and that was like last month. From
so you're gonna be soon.
Yeah, so it already got its full funding, and it's at $200,032 US dollars.
Yeah.
So he basically he already broke the goal on this one, so he's pretty much set for life on this one, because I already donated my money.
I think what these guys are doing in the industry, I think they're doing something different from what the people back in the day were doing with Image Comics. They're more likely, I think what they're doing is not only that they're upsetting the industry, but the industry is, well, from what people like Mark Waid and all the other pros, they're very, if you notice, they're very afraid.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, thanks to but here's the thing, thanks to that whole controversy, right now I'm looking at it, it's still going, and I'm looking at the backers, it's 6,220 now.
So it has to have it should have raised more than what, 200,000. If it's 6,000, geez, that's we're probably seeing a lot more money than what we're supposed to be seeing.
It's $25 per thing, but right now people are ordering the $50 thing and the $100 thing, because already 100 people claimed it. 1,751 people are claiming the comic book high quality print, and most people are buying the comic book, which is like 4,250. Like, no joke. This is what, because but here's the thing. He is getting a good quote from comic book printing press companies. I know that for a fact because I checked out the websites and everything, and the cost isn't that bad, because I looked at the printing press cost. The average that he could probably print out from the 6,000 backers, he could probably print out about maybe around $4,000 worth of, maybe 4,000. And he would be able to pay the artist. He would be able to pay. He has enough money to pull this off.
Yeah, practically, if you do think about it. Now, I'm not saying he's close. I think he'd be, if him and John Malin have this really successful run with Jawbreakers. If you do think about it, those two guys, they'll be successfully financially free. Like, they will have like money in their pockets that'll last them like a very long time. But it is up to them if they do want to continue doing more comics in the future. But I think what they would have to do is go about it in a different way. I'm not saying their Jawbreakers book is going to be month to month to month. I think they would, if this goes well, I could see them doing this again year to year to year, like one time.
Well,
it's a possibility. We'll see how it goes. But
here's the thing I found out is that he's not gonna worry about it, because the thing is, he could easily, with the money that he has, he could easily invest into his own little comic book company.
It was called, didn't they? A lot of people were saying it was called Splato de Gato Comics. Wow. Because that was based off of his second YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So it's in reference of that. But it's kind of better if somehow he can self-publish the books and get the graphic novels. Instead of having to go to a company, it would cost him more to go to a company than he'll have to honestly self-publish the books himself. I just hope he's still able to make it. We know he'll still be able to make it back on the charts with graphic novels.
I do agree, because the thing is, this would cost, because I know that he will probably have to go get a quote from certain printing presses, and the thing is, you know, he could easily make it on his own. He knows the business pretty well, because he has done businesses with printing presses before, because he published his own comic book before, and I know that for a fact that whoever is doing it, he has the money to pull it off, and also pay both the colorist, the artist, and he's just the writer for the whole thing. Even though, you know, he was, because I remember, he was a failed artist, and he didn't get much respect for what he does. He managed to pull off something that most people did. Like he asked for money, especially he's doing what, because he wasn't the first one that did this. There were several comic book artists that have done this in the past, and they sold quite well.
Yeah. What they're doing something, I think what they're doing is they're going after a new business model of putting out comic books, because the industry, we know it's sad, because this industry is like relying on an old business model of putting out, and I'm sure if like a lot of people, I'm sure some very insightful people would like to add to this discussion, but a lot of these, actually, the problem with these people is they're relying on an old business model. And here's the thing: when they put out books and all this other stuff, a lot of people, do you really, comic book shops are like, oh, next blah blah in my store to order 100,000 copies. In reality, they're not even ordering these books because, one, let's be honest, guys. Like, these type of books that are narratives, it's not selling. And if a comic book shop orders these, is it really gonna make money for the shops?
Yeah.
At the because like if we're being honest here, the shops are gonna get hurt by this, and we know that back there was a retailer summit where like the retailers got upset with Marvel with them putting out shitty books, and guess what? It wasn't selling. This stuff was going on behind the scenes. And that's not the only thing that was going on behind the scenes. Let's be honest. A lot of people got to start talking about it eventually. But we've also known this has been happening for a while. Conventions haven't been the same. Loud reviews to have their... These people are trying to push their on the industry. And this, you can go to any comic book convention. I guarantee some SJW panel or talking about color, and you know, it's really disgusting when these people try to act like they care about people of color when they don't. All it is they're just trying to use people's race, like they think we're dumb. Okay, we're not your puppets. First of all,
yeah,
we're human beings, and these people just have no respect, and it just disgusts me how this industry is.
Okay.
It really is, though. But not everyone's bad.
Here's what I'm reading right here. Here's what I'm reading, because I'm getting the source from Nick Monroe. He did post a little bit of a snippet of what Mark Waid said. I have a call to Antarctic Press until I hear them back. I'm hesitantly willing to give them the benefit of a doubt. They don't really understand who or what they're getting into business with, which is though it would, yeah. So he definitely did call them.
Yeah, he played a part in sabotaging him and other people along. We got the old enemies, the whole old Comic Gate haters like Tess Fowler and all these guys. They do all these different people, even the retailers were all colluding just to try to take out Diversity Comics out of the comics game. Obviously, these guys fear that he's going to triumph over all these publishers. And, you know, it's reality. The thing is, these guys have discovered a new way to market comic books.
Yeah, because
that, I guess you could say, revolutionized the industry in a way. But
yeah, but here's the thing that bothers me about the whole thing is that this is what Mark Waid said. I have a call with Antarctic Press until I hear back. I'm hesitantly willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that they really don't understand who and what they're getting into business with. Which though it would seem a stretch of a possibility. If I do hear back, I'll report it. Curious as to how they feel about publishing creators who are marketing strategy is allegedly encourage their fans to threaten an employee of stores or harass 1-star review bomb store and don't order their products. We are creators responsible for the actions of our fans. Ultimately, of course not, but it is morally bankrupt for creators with a voice to pretend they have zero influence over their fans. And incumbent upon the human beings in society use influence to intervene. If then, when people are getting harassed or threatened in the name, you can bet your ass if I ever find out any of my fans were spreading misogyny and transphobia, racism. Yeah, and right now, it's not stopping this to happen because already I'm looking at the sales of this because last time I checked when I was here a day ago because last night I remember this was at 5,000 backers.
Okay, that was the last time when we were talking. Wait, around midnight when we were talking around night clock midnight.
I did a live stream this morning. I did a little bit of a live streaming this morning, and I showed the comic book. It was at around 5,000, and now it's at 600. Now it's at 6,270.
Yeah. Well, obviously, this stunt Mark Waid pulled, it really bit him in the ass. What did Mark Waid do? All it did is he talked crap about, you know, DNC and what had happened. More likely, don't be surprised if Mark Waid's own went to check out the comic book, like, wait, what's going on with this book? And then they supported it, you know, because from what I remember hearing is different people that didn't know nothing about the drama, and then they had to look at it. People bought the comic book. You know, they're looking into the comic book. You see, that's the problem with these people is they looked into the comic book, and of course, oh shit, this looks like maybe I'll check out Jawbreakers Lost Souls. Over this, like, and a little bit about Mark Waid. There's some information I did come across. Did you watch Captain Cummings' recent video or no?
I have not.
Okay, I know him. There was Umbrella guy that made way too recently. I saw a little bit of finish it because I wanted to do, but there is some information.
Yeah.
You know, okay, you know that his Facebook account got shut down, right? Or he shut
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, before we put this out there, I just want to say to everyone, I understand that information is valuable. We know about this when we dealt with information when we were involved in Gamergate. So I'm not claiming that this might be true. This is what I saw on Captain Cummings' video. He talked about it, and he showed a few posts and interesting stuff on his video. So I just want to clarify that, okay? But Captain got some dirt, some interesting stuff. Okay, so Mark Wade, when he was threatening DNC, Antarctic Press, and when all the other pros were colluding along with him, what happened was some guy put out a post, I think on 4chan somewhere, and he put some information out there. He said that he worked for Marvel Comics, and he CB Sobolski has gotten a hold of the situation. He knows what's going on, and it seems Sobolski may have gotten some emails from Antarctic Press. They were very pissed off. Not only that, take everything with a grain of salt, guys. I don't know if this is true or not. This is some stuff that's on 4chan. We take it with a grain of salt. We don't know what happened behind closed doors, but Antarctic Press got pissed off and sent a angry letter to the CB Sobolski. The what is he? Is he the editor-in-chief of Marvel or no?
Yeah, I believe so. He is.
Yeah. Well, he's chief in command of Marvel Comics, and so the Antarctic Press is really pissed off at Marvel because if you really think about it, Mark Wade was using their platform. He represents Marvel Comics, and not only was he using Marvel's platform, all the other people that are involved in the industry, like Image Comics and the indie boys, the indie soy boys, were also involved in this drama too, trying to get DNC kicked off Twitter and all this other stuff. And so I heard that they threatened to file a lawsuit against Marvel with the current situation. So CB Sobolski, I'm sure he knows about this drama that went on.
Yeah.
So he found out about it, and he demanded Mark Wade to shut everything off. He demanded Mark Wade to shut all his social media accounts. And so Mark Wade, more likely, he went in silent. He was probably told he may have violated his contract by doing this shit. Because let's be honest, Mark Wade, he's in no position to be a gatekeeper of comics or the comic book industry.
Yeah, because
Captain Cummings also point. Go ahead, I'll let you finish.
And the thing is, Mark Wade just landed on a landmine. He realized he fucked
and it
up.
may have cost him his job.
It may have
cost him his job.
Yeah, because you can't really stop the guy who, because it's already going up. It's not going down. The sales are not even dropping on this book because you just made him famous by deliberately basically you didn't follow Justin Trudeau's advice on when he said if you kill your enemies, they win. And you just killed your enemy and therefore failed and lost the battle. Because this, by the looks of the backers, because I remember this was at 5,000 and now it's at 1. And I'm assuming that 1,000 more people are going to show up and buy this book because he's not Because by the looks of it, people are pre-ordering this.
No doubt about it. Mark Waid just like hurt himself, and not only that, all these industry people made it worse.
Yeah, because this is kind of like Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg. Everyone hated them back in the days, and I know this for a fact because I remember I was around when the rap game happened, and
yeah,
and what happened was they became the most hated and infamous duo ever, and then suddenly,
yeah, they were.
Then suddenly, no matter what you say about them, people would be curious about them and then listen to their lyrics and realize, oh yeah, this is okay. I'm gonna go buy it.
I love Snoop Dogg. I'll be honest with you. I just don't care when he makes references to little politics on his Instagram. I kind of feel like he lets like little things get to him. But I just want him to be successful and just keep grinding, making music. That's the Snoop Dogg I love. I love it when he's funny, though. I don't care about his political opinions. Yeah. But this whole thing with Mark Waid, it's just kind of interesting in the time we're living in, though. So don't be surprised if Mark Waid loses his job after this. Now, I don't know. If he does lose his job, I don't know if he'll go to another company, if he'll go to Image. I highly doubt he'll go to DC, though. Yeah. And Captain Commons made a video. He said that Dan Didio even blackballed him from getting hired at DC. I don't know what happened. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if he did something bad or he fucked up royally for them. But just don't be surprised, if he gets fired after pulling this shit, because he went down he fucking hurt. He hit a fucking landmine hard.
Yeah. Because if he would have ignored this whole thing and just, focused on his work instead of someone else's work, it would have been fine, because it would be business as usual, and you wouldn't have to deal with all the drama. Sure, you're going to deal with a critic that's going to talk shit about you, but you need to prove yourself. You need to prove yourself to everyone else that you can be a good writer, that you can be a good artist, you can be this and this. But the problem is, you're going to always deal with...
Well, Mark Waid hasn't, Yeah,
because here's the thing. A lot of the new talent that are they have to understand their audience is not their audience. They have to build that audience themselves in order to find an audience. And I don't have an audience. You can tell I'm just pointing this out. No one watches this. No one makes comments.
We're just putting this out on that does watch this though. That's for them. Yeah, we're marketing in our own way, though.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm just pointing this out to people because I only got one person watching this. I don't really care.
That's fine.
I don't really care to get a big audience, because a lot of people who watch this content think it's either boring or just boring or not funny enough. Because the thing is, I don't try to be funny. I suck at being funny.
No, I mean I'm funny in my own way. No, look, we're just guys that care about this, man. We're just guys that want to talk about this because it's so big right now. This Comicsgate drama is becoming bigger than I think it already is. Though, I mean, we know it's not up to Gamergate level big, but let's be honest, it does. Yeah, it does play. Let's keep it real, guys. There's a lot of Gamergate involvement in this, though, because if you think about it, Mark Waid was an enemy of Gamergate. And now if you think, isn't it funny that all the people that were our enemies involved in Gamergate, people like Joss Whedon, Mark Waid, and the list goes on, and all the other writers that sexually harassed women. Isn't it kind of funny when you look back on those people years later on? when they talk shit about Gamergate, isn't it kind of funny that years later on, their fucking like lives, they put their fucking they hurt themselves in the end.
I know.
They self-destruct. They hang themselves in the end. That's what happened. Like Joss Whedon, no one liked what he did with Justice League. Everyone hated the Justice League movie. And then when it came out that he cheated, when his ex-wife exposed him for what he truly was, when he goes out, talks about how he's a fucking self-proclaimed feminist, whatever, it just bit him in the ass.
And here's the other thing that's so funny about this is that fact, Mark Waid put a call in our office. Staff took a message and took Mr. Wade, our publisher, would be informed. Nobody at AP contacted CB Cebulski or Marvel. This is from because I'm reading this on my phone. Because Antarctic Press made a statement on Twitter. Nor felt threatened by any. Let me go ahead and. Nobody at Arctic Press contacted CB Cebulski nor Marvel felt threatened by any of Mark Waid's calls. We have not been bullied into a decision by any comics pros. No, this was not the comics pros. This was the comic book stores that threatened them.
Oh, okay. All right. So the comic book stores threatened Marvel. They were the ones that wrote the emails to CB Cebulski. Is that what you were saying? No,
I'm saying that Arctic Press was probably imitated by the comic book stores, because you have to understand. I understood what was going on. They're the very thing they claimed GG was.
Huh.
I'm looking at the chat right now because I'm looking at the what was going on, because this is something that possibly put CB Cebulski in a situation, because he wasn't involved, and I know that I read the whole thing, because Antarctic Press just made the statement, and I'm looking at it on my phone. Let me go ahead and look at Antarctic Press here, because
I'm gonna look up a poster put out on Comicsgate. Let's see. I'm just curious to see what is going on with the hashtag.
Yeah, because I'm gonna look at it right now, because they did this 50 something minutes ago. Fact: Mark Waid put a call out on our office, and he did call them, and it is confirmed.
Okay, that's true.
Staff took a message and told Mr. Waid our publisher would be informed. And nobody at Arctic Comics contacted CB Cebulski or Marvel, nor felt threatened by any way by Mark Waid. We have not been bullied into our decision. As you can see right here, they made the statement. Now, I'm gonna ask them, and I want to ask Arctic Press, when are you gonna reprint Warrior Nun Aurelia? No, seriously, when are you gonna do that? Because I'm very curious right now, because I'm gonna buy the book, and I want to read the book. So, because I'm very curious, because I already bought one, and I hope this is a legitimate copy of Warrior Nun Aurelia. And I hope they cut. And I have not seen anyone selling that thing except for one vendor, and that was it. And I got it for like $5, and now they're increasing the price to $15. No joke, they're actually doing that. So when are you guys at Arctic Press are going to reprint that whole thing? Because I'm very curious about that. Yeah, because this is the thing that I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys. This became a shit show. This whole thing became a really weird shit show. And I'm not trying to, and the fact that I'm not going to go after Anarchy Press for this, because I understand why they're doing this, because they even admitted that there were some outside forces that didn't like the creator. Because they openly did on Facebook.
I'm just looking at the Comicsgate hashtag. You have a few mixture of different people chiming in. Just like some people are like, oh, if you don't like comics being political, don't buy them. Well, yeah, that's a problem. No one is buying comics that are political. That's the thing. But yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because
though, just look at all this. This is just gonna go on and on. Let's look at I'm gonna look at the recent timeline. Yeah. Let's look at the line of Comicsgate with what's going on. Just all these different people.
Yeah, because
one guy said, "Oh, this guy says something." Let's hope he's not. Let me read this.
Yeah.
If anything, you're helping Gamergaters to support Comicsgate, because if pro-censorship blowhards such as yourself, who lectures GG ad nauseum about morality and supports banning many GG members, is against CG Comicsgate, that makes Comicsgate sound like something GG should support. Okay, basically, this guy is like saying, okay, guys, you're just doing the same thing. You're saying this group of people were bad, and if you say that these group of people are bad, more likely us, me and you and many others, are going to support them, which, let's be honest, from what I know, Gamergate is... people in Gamergate are supporting Comicsgate too.
Yeah.
So we are fighting the same cause, in a way. Though, except Gamergate is more after the fake news media outlets, and Comicsgate, they're just trying to make comic books better. And with the Move the Needle hashtag, don't underestimate Move the Needle. This thing is just proving to the industry, hey, look, these comic books are selling. Hey, look, these mangas are selling. This is what people want. And what did Move the Needle do? All it did was encourage people to buy Jawbreakers.
Actually, it encouraged people to buy indie comics as well, other comics as well. And I'm pretty sure I remember they also did a reference list to DC comic books. I know that they also supported certain Marvel books that they felt that were really good stories. And I remember they pulled a list of things recommended too. Like I even did my recommendations of Brian Pulido's book.
Oh yeah,
because a lot of people were hoping for Lady Death to come back, and he made a comeback with his book, and he published it. And also the fact that I actually showed everyone this Brian Pulido's new, because right now he's depending on Kickstarter. He's been doing He's been doing this more times than ever. He created like 12 projects of comic books. Like he basically, you know, he's getting fully funded from all these projects that he's doing. Like he last time it was 50,000, then it became 20,000, then it became 200,000, because a lot of people remembered Lady Death. And also Brian Pulido, because I used to remember Brian Pulido when he had the freaking hair. Like, he had the long perm hair. and I grew up reading... I used to grow up reading articles about him on... because he was one of the biggest indie, you know, stories ever. Because he worked his ass off in the comic book industry as a writer. And it was sort of interesting, you know, talking about what happened, because his story was he basically his old original publisher, Chaos Comics, kept his work, especially Lady Death, and he wanted to claim it back, but unfortunately he had to go through a big lawsuit to do it. And it was sort of interesting to hear his story because it was like, yeah, I can agree with you, man. Yeah, that what they did was kind of shit because he couldn't get Lady Death to come back anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now he brought it back on Kickstarter, and you know, I hoped he would make his own publishing company. He did, but he's still depending on Kickstarter to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we yeah, it's just this time. If we want, if me and you want good comics, we obviously have to go to different competitors. We obviously have to start funding our own Kickstarters in a way. I think it's good for those guys because they're getting a fist of cash for a comic book. Not even a lot of these people in the industry, a lot of the SJWs, they don't have that kind of money. They never well, Kwanzaa raised some money for that Black comic book,
Yeah.
but then DNC pointed out that he scammed a lot of people. He wasn't he was late on the books, and he didn't always deliver like what he was promised. Though, like I have no idea why people would be interested in Black. I don't know. I just don't like it when these guys. I know I'm gonna go on about Blacks and comic books, but like I'm serious, man. Like it's not about you. It's not about your race. Look. We have no problem with Blacks, Black people, people of color in the industry.
I'm gonna point out something.
But make good books. That's all.
I'm gonna point out something. There was an artist that didn't have the talent, that didn't have the desire, but he had the desire. And I'm gonna tell you who it is because he worked for Antarctic Press for years. And for those who don't know who I'm talking about, I'm gonna explain to you this. Fred Perry. This is, and I'm gonna show everyone the picture of Fred Perry. He's at MegaCon.
Yeah. Yeah, and can we also talk about another artist? It's sad that he passed away, but a lot of people forget. Like, tired of Mark Waid and other people saying that all of what color. Me and you are people. I don't know what Mark Waid and others are talking about, but it's like we have no problem with people in the industry that are people of color. Like many people forget about the creator of Static Shock, Dwayne McDuffie. Rest in peace.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dwayne McDuffie. Remember Dwayne McDuffie?
I heard about him.
Creator of Static Shock.
Yeah, the creator of Static Shock.
Yeah, he was. He from what I remember, I forgot. Static Shock was a part of another comic book company, and then it got bought by DC Comics because he wanted to continue. He wanted Static Shock to survive. I mean, Static Shock is still around in comic books.
Yeah.
But the cartoon show was really good. It touched on subjects. It did touch on racism. Not fucking Mark Waid's way when he talks about Captain America being in a racist country. He represents a racist country known as America, and no, not Mark Waid's way. Okay? Back then we had people that touched on things the right way. Racism was addressed, drugs were addressed. You know what I mean? And not only that, he even had an episode of a school shooting in Static Shock. Do you remember that or no?
I wasn't able to watch it because my what happened was the cable channel that was in there, they took it out because of the whole, and they had to replace it with Telemundo and other Spanish channels because they got bought out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, no, but there was an episode that there was a kid, I believe, I gotta watch it again. He gets bullied, and this kid gets bullied so bad, and then he takes a gun to school.
I remember that episode.
And then he shoots Reggie. And then he gets of course he gets arrested, though. He was just like bullied. But you know, they didn't fuck DC Comics, nor did the company. Did they? These guys didn't go around saying, "Oh, we need to ban guns and all this other stuff." Not like fuck people like David Hogg and all these other nobodies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't like these kids. I'm not going to go on about a gun rant though. Look, I'm not for guns or against guns. That's my stance. So I'll just leave it at that.
I believe
But
it's personal responsibility for the weapon and how you use it.
We're just telling you guys there was a right. Like when it comes to certain political issues or personal issues, there in comics there was a right way to address it back in the day, and the way these people are trying to address it is just all wrong. It's just wrong on many different levels, and it's not connecting to people of today. It's not.
It's awful. They really are
horrible
at addressing the issue.
And you know, and then we get called, and then if we demand we want better comics, look, we're not bigots, all right? We're not bigoted people. I don't like that. They always go on this we're homophobics and all this other stuff. I don't understand.
I kind of call them emotional manipulators because they're emotionally manipulating people into something that they don't want to do. And the funny thing is that this has happened before because people have emotionally manipulated their own people, and this is something that we try to address about these people, that they're not trying to be nice. They're trying to control you, and that's the problem.
Yeah, they're trying to control you. That's the problem, is they're trying to control
and the problem
this industry.
And the problem is, you know, we try to tell Mark. A lot of people try to come forward and try to talk to Mark Waid, but he doesn't care. He doesn't want to care to listen because he's more about trying to, you know, put out the whole diversity,
fill a agenda. Basically, the industry is just using people of color. They're just another number. They're just another quota. Like, is that all? Is that all that we are to this industry? Like, no, seriously. Like, serious question. Is that literally what black people, Hispanics, and women are? Or are they just another number, or are we people that have the right to be judged by our merits?
And the thing is,
oh man, we're going so serious. Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Fred Perry because Fred Perry, who worked as an indie comic creator, he did Gold Digger. He did a lot of other comics as well. I know that for a fact because there's a list of comics that he did. The Last Zombie was one of his creations. I know he helped out in the Robotech and the Robotech Sentinels. He did a lot of things and worked his ass off with his Gold Digger comic book. And he also tried to do an animated cartoon, which was straight to DVD. And he did it on his own. He did it with the help of Art and Arctic Press because he was working for them for years, for almost decades. This guy deserves more respect in the community because even though most people don't know who he is, he worked his ass off to make that comic what it is, because he didn't give a shit. He just went and went forward with it, regardless of his art style. Even though his art style doesn't look great, he did it because he presented a story that he wanted to make. He worked his ass off and he built himself a community of people who read that book, especially outside of the industry, especially in Europe. He got people reading that book. For those who don't know who Fred Perry is, should know this because he's an African American, but no one wants to acknowledge the fact that there are African Americans in the industry when they were around for decades. But unfortunately, you want to bring up something in a race history and put your own black ass in there, but unfortunately you need to realize you're not the first one that did it. He was also one of the few people that did it on his own. There was others. There was other creators that did this, like you mentioned before, who made Static Shock, but you're trying to erase history so you can move forward and try to become the greatest of all people, trying to influence people. You can't do that. You got to do it on your own. You got to make it like, you got to make it on your own.
Yeah.
You got to earn that respect. You got to earn it by doing the work like everyone else. And that's the problem.
Exactly. Like
you think you can do it without the work, but you have to do the work in order to earn that respect. And that's the problem with these people. They don't want to work. They want to bitch and moan and cry out tears. It doesn't matter. You still have to do the work.
No, you have to do the work. Like, dude, everything, like the thing that these people, the problem with these people is they've stopped caring about comic books. It's like, okay.
And the funny thing is, these people who are like anti-capitalists and all this other stuff that believe in communism, they have, like most people would have to understand, you still got to do work. No matter
no, you still got to do work. You got to promote your. The problem with these people, these SJWs, if you really cared about your work, you would go out and promote it on Facebook. You would promote it on Tumblr. You would put it out there on Twitter, even YouTube, and we know that. Like, and the problem with the market, they don't have the money to advertise. They don't advertise. That's the thing you notice about them. They don't advertise on the radio. They don't advertise on television. They don't advertise their comic books in movies, though. It's very rare. I've never seen it happen. Because, hey, go buy these comics, when you go see our movies.
And Brian Polito followed me on Twitter because he saw that I retweeted the whole
and let's also clarify something, and also for me and JT, we're not saying book writers and all the artists, they're not all bad people. We're just talking about the little girls club and all this other dumb shit that doesn't need to be in comics.
Because the thing is, some of these so-called were communists. Like, some of them are pure socialists and communists. Like, they believe that there should be, but they have to understand, focus on your work. That's the only thing that they want you to do in socialism, even in communism. They want you to focus on work. And if you're going to get imitated and bitch and moan about some guy on the internet complaining about your comic book, and you're bitter about this, so what? You could easily, done your work, could have focused on your work instead of focusing on this guy who complains about and bashes and makes fun of you. So what if he does? You could easily have done a better job with your comic book and sold pretty well, but you just chose to attack the guy for no apparent reason, and now look what happened. It backfired on you, because look at who's laughing now. You're not helping the situation. You're making it worse by deliberately making him more famous than he already is, because you can say, oh yeah, this person did this, he harassed me, but you don't have any proof of that because he basically makes fun of you. That's all he does. He's just deliberately making fun of you. And already the numbers have changed right now. It's already 6,297 right now. It was 250.
It's still going up.
It's still going up, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop him. It's not going to stop anybody from buying this book, because you made the book forbidden, because this is what happens. You remember, I used to remember a rap group called Band in the Two Live Crew. You just made him Two Live Crew. You made Richard Meyer Two Live Crew 2.0 by deliberately trying to say, I'm going to ban this book right now. And then suddenly he's going to release this book as a rap album. Like, no joke.
Yeah, practically. That's the thing. Back in the day, these are the same type of people that didn't want hip-hop music to thrive. Hip-hop and rap music to thrive back then.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want. There is a reason why that music thrived. And we all know, like, and of course, in time, a lot of rappers became rich and they changed their whole lifestyle. We know they're not in the gang lifestyle no more. We know Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, they're all successful business people now. They're not, repping gangs like they used to though. Back then, you had to fucking represent where you came from, your hood and everything though.
Yeah.
Like they were on some real gang shit now. And now today, well, we're not going to talk about today's music though. It's all a bunch of SoundCloud artists that I don't want to get into that, but they're just not that great.
I understand.
Yeah, but but the problem is with
there's some
what
we
were
really
talking.
Good. There's some that are really good, but
No,
I'm not gonna disrespect any of them. I know that they work their asses off because a lot of them come to me, because I played some songs on my YouTube channel with my PvP videos that I make, like for World of Warcraft. A lot of people come to they practically a lot of them follow me because I displayed their songs and say I featured this song, and they thank me because they pretty much thank me that, oh yeah, you helped me sell some records, and I'm like, I didn't realize I did. I just played your song. And just tell everyone.
I don't know.
And tell everyone, oh, what song?
You don't think it was a bot comment?
No, it was probably.
You don't think they were?
No, it was just a message saying thank you for playing my song. I appreciate that you are supporting my art. Go ahead and it's like some music artists are very desperate too. Like they come to me, like they hope to see me, display their music, and it's like, look, I just if I think the song is very good and I really like it and it fits well into World of Warcraft, I would put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, like there's a difference between this situation and the other one. Is like I only show music that I think would really fit well in a movie or in my videos that I make. That's how it works for me. If I think the song fits well, I would play it. I would put it in there. But at the same time, I'm kind of skeptical on what am I listening to? Why? Okay, so you want me to play a love song in there, and I'm like, you guys have to understand, this is not the type of audience you would want to listen to your music. Because it's hard to, like, if you want me to put a love song in there, okay, fine, I'll put a love song in there, but it's gonna be a meme. And I practically made a meme song. I used Childish Gambino's little song, and I thought that was a funny song. I might as well use it.
Okay, I actually saw. Yeah, that was pretty interesting though. Yeah. This whole thing. What can we go on just about, like, Comicsgate? This industry obviously needs to wake up. DNC's like coming up faster, overthrowing every publisher in the game. These guys have like figured out a way to do it. And if you think that's bad, like, where's Ethan Van Sciver gonna be at? How much money is he gonna raise?
Here's the thing.
Can you imagine that?
I think you said that he's gonna announce Cyberfrog, right?
Yeah, he's supposed to announce it. I think he was working on the Kickstarter or getting it ready for launch, but he's also just been doing a lot of work on it, though.
Yeah, because I
don't think he put it up on Twitter.
Because this is not going to work.
And
the thing is, this is pretty much. Let me see what this date was. This is in April of last month. This is May. So, Pervert. Okay. Okay, so he beat out a bunch of comic book sales. He'll probably beat Paper Girl. That's for sure. He already beat out Saga, Infinity Gauntlet's from Marvel.
He's practically like overthrowing a lot of these guys, and a lot of these people don't even like know what the fuck is going on. What the fuck? DNC, who is they're like thinking who is this guy? This that came out of these guys have found a way to market their book like no one else is doing. I don't even think anyone in the even knows how to market their comic books on like professionally on YouTube. I'm not talking about like their own. I'm not talking about Marvel or DC Comics' YouTube channel. No, they're doing it like in a different way.
Yeah, because by the looks of it, it seems that some people are looking at this, because I'm looking at the current, from April 2018, because this is the data from April when it was released last month. And by the looks of it, the sales of this of comic books, the numbers are just going up.
It's just going up and up and up.
Yeah, for certain books, like for example, let's see, Walking Dead, about Paper Girls. I'm a bit curious about Paper Girls, because it seems like this book has been selling pretty well for themselves. So let's look at Paper Girl.
Yeah. There's, when it comes to like, with this industry, I feel like everything that's been going on with the comic book industry, I've just been so turned away. I remember I told you, when this whole Comicsgate drama started, that I reverted back into manga. Like, this industry has just turned me away. Though, now let's cross our fingers that Anime Gate doesn't really happen, though. I mean, I'm sure there are SJWs in the industry that will do it, but let's just cross our fingers that Anime Gate doesn't have a few YouTubers that have talked about it, though. But it's not. Let's just pray, cross your fingers that our translations and manga and anime translations don't involve any political correctness or weird messages in it. If it does, then that means we know our industry. But with Comicsgate, we're just trying to fight for our rights to have fucking good comic books. Like that's it. That's all we ask for. Yeah. Go on.
I'm looking at this message from somebody saying they are the very thing that they claim GG was. No, they're not. The only difference is they're fighting against a different enemy that is trying to basically complain and bitch and moan about these so-called they don't like these so-called other people that are trying to work in the industry. They basically are advocating for diversity, but they're also but it seems that they're advocating for division, like separation. Like they're trying, and it's like you don't have to like a person because they don't. And the thing is, I understand that some people don't like a person, and that person doesn't deserve to work in that industry, but they can work somewhere else. They can go somewhere else and find work there. And I'm not gonna hold it. I'm not gonna hold it against the creators or anything like that. But the thing is, they need to understand that when you do something like this, and it's already backfired for them, and I already explained this, you're not helping create a better industry by telling everyone that they need to do this and this and this, that they need to change their ways or else. Because it's not going to do that. Because a lot of people who grew up in the heavy metal generation, for example, they were like, screw this. You guys are a bunch of hypocrites. Because because you have to understand, like, some of us went through bullshit. We got lied to, we got hated on and manipulated, and
yeah, no, I remember those days.
Yeah. Because some of us went through that, and at times, you know, there are things that, you know, especially when you say you're the good guy and trying to say, oh, you're a racist and all this other stuff, we know you're full of shit. Therefore, you're pretty much trying to manipulate me by shaming me, and that's not going to work, because that tends to piss off a person, especially when they dealt with that type of experience, because 5 times out of 10, that person that accuses you of being racist could be a bully. For all we know, you could be a bully, or you could be this and this and this, and that's the biggest problem with a lot of the people who are in that side. They have some really bad issues, especially how they present themselves and how they try to, you know, they get upset over the smallest little petty shit. Like they don't realize this.
No, they don't. And this is the thing that's even sad about this industry too. No one talks about this. No one talks about. I think the sad part is no one talks about the grind a lot of these people have to go through. No one talks about how these comic book writers and artists, they don't talk about what they go through. They don't ever talk about like the story of how they got in the industry. They don't see, you know, this is the thing that people don't see nor talk about, but I'll talk about it on this stream, even though there's no viewers at all. But there are people I see go to San Diego Comic-Con, and they are just fingers. They are praying that they get hired in any the big two or Image or whatever. They're just praying that they get work, and they have to put out like sketches and artwork.
It's true.
Together just to show these publishers.
It's true.
And then to hear that we got, and the thing that pisses a lot of us off, and to hear that these people, they pick the diapers, they pick from Tumblrettes. Let's go to conventions. Did they go to San Diego Comic-Con, bust their ass and work on their craft to get involved in these jobs? Fuck no. They were never there. They just got in because they cried. Oh, I want money. Can I get involved? I'm Megs Fasaggio. I want to put out Kim and Kim. You guys will hire me, right? Because I fit the diversity criteria. Give me a fucking break.
Because I knew a girl that went to San Diego Comic-Con. She was an artist, and I remembered her around college. And she went down to. I remembered her story telling us what she went through, because she couldn't find any food, because she didn't. They forgot to bring food on the trip.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you don't have food, you're kind of fucked. You need to have food for the convention to survive.
And she no food except for breakfast. That was it. And the funny thing was, this is what happened. You know, she was like almost fainted, because she couldn't find any place to eat because it was expensive. And the fact that they forgot to bring food along on the trip, because she wanted to, you know, get noticed, you know, because the artist community down there goes down there every year to basically promote their work and hopes to get a job or something like that. Because a lot of these artists, you know, especially in New York Comic-Con and also other places, I know that they hold conventions in other states, they basically try to promote their work to other artists and hope to get a job. And sometimes some of the artists would tell them, like, some of them get rejected, and tell them with brutally honest criticism. Criticism. And this is something that I remembered from a friend of mine telling me the story, that he went down to work, and he managed to get a job. He managed to get a job with Arctic Press. No joke, he did, because he did the illustration for Robotech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the thing was, you know, a lot of us wish to be in those positions, but you have to have the desire to do it. You have to really work at it. Especially I read like the Wizard comic books. Like, you remember those old, Price Guide comic books, and they had these little articles.
Oh yeah.
And they also tried.
Yeah, I remember those.
And I used to remember they used to always, talk about like the anatomy and everything, trying to educate people on the issue. Like, a lot of artists that show up on the Wizard, articles, talking about the business side of things, and also trying to teach new artists on what to expect and what you have to do in the industry. Especially, you have to learn anatomy. That was another big thing that a lot of artists advocated, that you have to learn anatomy in order to get the idea of how to become a better artist in the industry. Because looking at what because I was like looking at some of the comic books currently now, it looks like Kate Nipsky, for example. I saw her work, and her work was when she did, as I recall, the Mockingbird comic books. And a lot of people, a lot of the people that outside of it were, I was like looking at the art and everything, and I noticed that she made so many terrible mistakes, especially in the certain panels of those comic books that she did. And the thing that bothered me was, she could, and I looked at her fan art. She does a really good job with the fan art, but the problem with her doing like the comic books, it seemed like they rushed her. And I try to explain this in other streams about this, because now I'm glad she's working at Dark Horse, because I think that's where she belongs, because she does a lot of like video game fan art.
Yeah, I think I think there are good people. There are comics industry, and we know a lot of them aren't vocal. We're just lucky we have Ethan Van Sciver, Brett Smith, and I guess John Malin that have been vocal. But we just want. I mean, we just want people to like. We just want people to trust. But I think the one thing that with this whole situation is, when you look at Mark people that we have fought up against, these people don't pay attention to what goes on YouTube. They don't listen to what goes on. They read a few articles and that's the truth, man. This is the truth. What this guy said in this article right here. That's all they have. That's all the information. Go by a lie, and instead of getting to know any of us.
Yeah.
And they never went out to go find the answers at all. When all they had to do was do research.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They called this guy they called him all book, and they did the same with John Malin too. And and I think that's the problem with these people. They weaponized their race, their gender card. They've weaponized their ideology. Bad. So bad that that's the only thing they believe that it'll sell. And these people's minds are polluted. These people have polluted their mindsets with hate, vitriol, and corruption. I mean, what can we say more? These are the same people we fought in Gamergate. And isn't it kind of people fear? They fear John Malin and Brett Smith. They fear them so much. It's like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid that DNC is going to overthrow the industry? Well, he's probably going to show you how to fucking hit a home run. and then show you what the fuck you guys were doing, I think what'll happen is, I think if they continue to be successful, more likely they'll be financially free. I'm sure they're going to make a hand fist of money. All they got to do is take care of their customers.
Yeah.
Just take care of your customers. That's what you got to do, and make your money. And if this goes well, hopefully we'll see more Jawbreakers. We'll hopefully see, other comic book writers and artists,
and
start doing this.
They'll probably make more money, because the thing is, I'm not advocating for all these people to go out of business. I'm not advocating for any of that stuff. I'm not advocating to separate, all these people away from what they love, because that's not what it's about. Because I understand that a lot of you guys who make comic books who are struggling right now, because I know there was a guy that approached me, and he wanted me to promote his Indiegogo, or his Kickstarter, and he wasn't getting any, considering that the story seemed interesting, but the sad part is that it didn't get that many views, because he asked me to promote it, and I'm like, okay, I'll promote your book, but I'm not really big on what the story is, but I'll do it anyways, because I understand that you want people to notice and want to buy your comic book. The thing I notice is that right now, I'm looking at the numbers right now. It just changed for Jawbreakers Lost Souls. It's at the backers right now is at 6,304 right now. It was at 97. It was at 297. Now let's see let me go ahead and see if the number changed a little bit. Because right now,
that's interesting.
People are paying for this thing. Like, they're backing this like no tomorrow.
Their backing doesn't shine. They're like going in just like, they want this. They're starving. These guys are hungry for this comic book.
Yeah, because this is like G.I. Joe with superheroes in it.
I really am hoping. Oh man, I'm tempted to buy this comic book now. I just want to get towards Ethan Van Sciver's comic, but I really wanted to get it at the comic book shop. I don't believe my comic book shop would ever be a part of this corruption. I highly doubt it. I don't I know the people. Well, I know two of the guys there. Like, one of the guys is black. I know he's not no SJW. He's talked about, there's some problems going on with this industry. He's admitted it to me, and I know me and her are really, really good. We're cool friends.
Yeah.
With each other. I don't ever believe any of these people would ever want to sabotage DNC's title. We got to remember, this is a small group, a clique of people and these individual shop owners that were trying to threaten to boycott DNC's book. Probably, we don't even know. Let's be honest. Do you ever wonder if there were other comic books that have been boycotted by these groups of people? What if DNC isn't the first?
Yeah. Because
to this level.
There are a lot of other.
I don't want to believe.
Actually, they're on Kickstarter, and I can show you. Let me see Kickstarter. Let me look up.
Yeah, there has to be, man.
Because let me see, Victoria Barnacle Legend. Let's see, this one already got funded. It's asking for 500. There's really bad, comic books that people make, and even by the fact that these comic book creators, I was looking at this book called High Noon, for example. They made over their goal, and they were asking for $10,000 bucks. It's like 48,000. And there was another one that I remembered someone did. There was. I know that there was people that did like they donated to the let's see what other projects have been tapped into. Let's see. Anarchy Dreamers Volume 2. Let's see. That's about $5,000 right there. What they're asking for, but they made it through their funding. And let's see, 31,000. I know Brian Pulido did, and he managed to make like 2,300, 2,000, like 200,030 for his comic book that he published. Heroes, the public domain. Man. Like, there are people that are attempting to, you know, put their comics out there on Kickstarter in hopes for people to do something. Like, there's a person that's making a book called How to Draw Black People. That's funny. A guide on how to draw black people.
Oh my! Oh Jesus Christ! These people. How to draw black people? Yeah, you're just gonna grab your black marker and make a brown marker too. Then you're gonna stroke, and then you gotta use your black marker to make the hair curly. Oh my God! Wow, really?
Yeah. There's also horror comics too. Like, people are making horror comics in the Kickstarters, and I'm looking at it right now. Like, there are 200.
There was like some.
I know Brian Pulido already has his project up and running because he's doing. Let's see, La Muerte, Retribution, #1. No, right now he's doing his newest one that he's doing for his other hero that he has, Heroine. Let me see. Faro's Lounge, Slave Layla sketchbook, Mojo does Dazzler. Like, they're selling art books now. Madness, timing. Like, there's a lot of books here that people are trying to, you know, get funded. I even supported some of them. Like Grim Fairy Tales, Sailor of a Sojo style collectible statue. Oh, that's interesting. Grim Fairy Tales are doing it.
So there's an industry on Kickstarter that is doing kickstarting for their comic books.
Yeah.
You on that? Just don't be pushing any narratives now.
Yeah.
People will see right through that, though. Like, it's kind of... Oh, man, these times we live in, man, to think, man, the whole... Man, to think about the times that the shit we faced in Gamergate, and now we're just seeing history repeat itself in Comicsgate, and everyone's just fucking losing their mind. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, whoa. Like, we just, like, I don't know, man. This industry has opened, and now, like, it's not gonna end, man. The ride never ends.
I know. And I'm looking at
like
all these.
The video.
I'm looking at
and
all
the
these
videos that are coming out. The videos are coming out. It's just hysterical at this point.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now. Oh.
Man, you know.
I'm looking at.
Yeah,
there's a lot of books that are out there that people are asking for money, and I'm looking at some of them. Like, for example, I'm looking at this book called let's see, what is it called? I'm looking at it right now because I'm looking at all these books right now that are kind of interesting. Like, there are tons and tons of books that people are asking for money for because they want to make. There's a graphic novel called Liar. That's another example. Red Winter, a crime and noir comic book. I might consider. Penny for Your Soul, Pestilence Chapter 3. I heard that some people like that one. Sword and Maiden, adults only. There's one called Dragonstorm. There's one on Kickstarter called Dragonstorm Volume 1 graphic novel, which I think that's, and there's another book from Apogee Comics, The Phantom Hawk Returns. It's like Batman in a way. And there's another one called Cat and Mouse, the first 4 issues miniseries.
Yeah. Hey, do you know what I just find interesting about this whole controversy? John Malin. I've never heard his face before. I'm sure if I search, find it. But to think, John Malin is a guy that worked for Marvel, and then he got let go or fired because of what wrong think, just because he appeared in dreams with people in comics, and like this man like lost everything. And isn't it kind of funny? Isn't it kind of funny? He teams up with, I do know diversity in comics. I guess he has worked in the industry before and knows a few people in his previous lifetime. But isn't it funny? He teamed with this random YouTuber, and not only that, he starts meeting all these other guys in the community, like Yellow Flash, Weaponized Nerd Rage, and all these other people. And to think, like, he's like involved. I'm sure he never thought he was gonna use his skills as an artist to be working with DNC, and like his art is just so dead on, just spot on. And he never, and I'm sure he's like tripping out at how much money this whole Indiegogo thing has raised, and there's still people backing it to this day. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just,
I would say,
and people are losing their minds over these guys.
Yeah, and the thing is, right now, you know, I'm seeing the numbers change right now, because right now this is going up. It's not going down. No one's not even trying to you know, cash back on this. This is it. This is pretty much what's going on. People are constantly pre-ordering this, and the numbers are changing on this book, because it's not going to stop.
I think
after all this drama happened, it's not going to stop, because no matter what they say, no matter what they do, whether or not they want this guy out of the industry, he's still going to make more money off of this, because you made him famous by deliberately.
You guys can't. I mean, yeah, and the thing is, like, they're gonna raise money, and hopefully they do go to some conventions. And guys, and these guys don't realize you guys can't prevent him from selling his book, and nor do these people have the right to get him kicked out of a convention. They don't have that right, because when he didn't do anything wrong. Like, do you really think a convention is gonna kick a guy out just because he made some YouTube videos on some other people in the industry? There's no way. It doesn't violate the con rules. He's not breaking any rules. And the thing was, he minded his own business. Mark Waid, however, he could be in some serious trouble with the stunts he pulled. He could have violated his contract. That's a possibility. Same with these other people, but it's some interesting times we're living in, though. It's good that we're seeing these guys become successful. Now I am starting to think I might personally, even though I don't have like much of an audience, I just have my little Instagram followers that follow me and watch my little videos, whatever. I did talk about it on Instagram in a story. I may even promote this comic book on my Instagram, because this drama is so big. I'm just gonna like support it. Hey guys, if you're interested in checking out a comic, I'll tell you what's going on. Feel free to check out this comic book, Jawbreakers. Feel free to support it if you're interested. I highly doubt any of my friends will buy it, though. I don't know if they will. I just don't see. I don't know. When it comes to my friends, they're not the types that are like into all this stuff that we are into. You know,
Yeah,
very few of them are, but
you'd be surprised. They'll probably.
but then
They'll
again,
they'll
I'd be
probably buy
surprised.
La Muerta or Muerte.
Yeah,
That comic book by
Muerte.
from Brian Pulido. I'm pretty sure they'll probably buy
Ooh,
that
wow.
comic. Yeah, because I know that there are a lot of people that would buy that one, because if they're a bit curious about that comic book by Brian Pulido, they can go ahead and get it. I wish Brian Pulido.
Yeah, I think everyone. Yeah, I think everyone's just jumping on the train right now because they're seeing, hey, you know what? This could be a really good comic book. You know, forget about what DC is doing with that. What the fuck is that event called again? Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
People about that event and just move on. And I know people got mad recently because it's late, so that's not good. And that's the problem with the comics industry is they work on these books. What they should do is work on a lot of these titles ahead of time. But then, you know, they become late on these books, and then it could kill a book really fast.
Yeah, you can see
because
right here, I actually ordered it. I'm not lying.
Oh, that's good.
I actually ordered it, and I.
You ordered Jawbreakers,
Yep. I ordered it and put it on my Kickstarter. As you can see right here, I'm not lying. I also did donate.
You paid $25, right? Or...
Yep. Yeah. I
okay.
did. Because I'm a bit curious on this guy's book, and I want to read it and see how it is. And I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not bullshitting people. I'm not lying to people. I actually put money down on this shit. And if they want to talk shit about, oh, you didn't donate to his.
It's the alt-right people that support this comic. You know, I don't get where this alt-right shit comes from. You know, like, that's the thing I hate about. I hate labels so much at this point. I really hate labels. Gamergate's alt-right. Comicsgate is alt-right. White supremacist. Man, shut the fuck up.
No, it's basically they want to bring out a conspiracy. They want to bring out what sounds like a good way because this is PR manipulation, and that's what I don't like about it. Because they want to brainwash people into believing this stuff because they don't understand what's going on. A lot of people don't understand what's going on, and they would rather believe that truth because they went through a lot of shit. Like, I don't like that. I don't like when you try to lie to people like that, especially when you try to lie to a person like that and expecting them to do the job for you. That's kind of called that's kind of a manipulation right there. And the fact that they're trying to do this, it kind of tells them, look, I'm not like they're accusing people of, oh, you're trying to hurt the trans people, you're trying to hurt the gay people, you're trying to hurt. No, I'm not advocating for any of that stuff. Why are you putting words in my mouth saying that I'm advocating for this stuff? Because I'm not.
No,
I don't. Look, man. I'm not trying to bullshit you. I'm just trying to tell you, look, this is what's going on, and some people are laughing at you because you're making ridiculous accusations that have no merit whatsoever or proof. You're just basically lying to people and bullshitting them and telling them, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead and accuse me of this stuff, and I'll tell you.
We just don't want. Yeah, we just look. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that this will hurt. Oh boy, what I'm about. Oh, let me just say, look, guys. I'm sorry to see gay Captain America or Bucky have sex with each other. Look, we just don't. No one cares. Okay, we don't want no Batman. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
And I don't have a problem.
Look, we just want comic books. That's it. Okay, we just want good comic books. We don't care what your gender is. We don't care about your orientation.
Yeah, we don't care about your non-binary.
I don't care. I don't care if characters have sex in it. I'll get a book. Well, if it's, you know, I don't care if a man and a woman get hook up in comic books. Yeah. Hey, that's the way it is. You know, I'm sorry. Like, you know.
Yeah, and if you want to advocate for a gay superhero, go buy a gay superhero comic book. Go
and I
support
know,
them.
and we should probably say this. We'll just say it just for the future. We know that there's going to be a few social justice warriors that are going to try to take our awards and use whatever we say against us. Look, we're going to just come back and clarify things. We're going to clarify the truth, just to let you guys know that don't try to do that on us. It's just going to backfire on you. Don't try to use what we say against us. Like, oh, this is what they said years ago. Because you notice they did that with DNC. Oh, look, he has an assault charge. He's a abuser. He blah blah blah. In 1999,
He went
he's
behind Arby's. He went to Arby's and assaulted a woman.
what? Like, come on! Like, Ralph killed someone at Arby's.
Yeah, and now it's
what was that saying back in the day?
Richard Meyer killed a woman behind Arby's in 1999 and basically put her out to like they're gonna probably make that meme about him. Like, it's like, no joke. They'll probably because that's literally a joke that happened a long time ago, and it's a bullshit joke that's a lie. And people get intimidated by it behind Arby's. Like, don't take that seriously, because look,
you're fucking these.
Because if you're gonna go up against this guy, you're gonna lose. You can't win against him. You're gonna lose because you don't have any proof. You don't have any backup. You don't have any claim to fame on what you do. You're just like everyone else.
No, you don't.
Because he basically, yes, he admits that he was a bad artist back in the days, but he became a good writer after that. He presented a story that everybody wanted, and he tried to sell it at a convention, and he did. And you know what? He did. He put the work on it. He put the work in, like everyone else. Like you guys that are going at conventions trying to sell your work. He did it. He's not trying to bullshit you. He actually is putting the work in by doing this whole situation. Like, he is trying to make things happen. And if you're going to get upset with him because he criticized your work, yeah, he's going to do it no matter what you say, no matter what you do, because you don't know when to, take the criticism from it and learn from it and try to do better than him. You think you can do better than him? Then you need to do it. Don't bullshit. Do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We just don't care for your politics. We don't care for Gabby Rivera, Michelle Perez, or
don't get me started about her, because I read her comic book and I was cringing. I was cringing like a bitch, man. That comic book was so bad, because reading that comic book, it was a stereotype of Rosie Perez. Like, she's like the wannabe Rosie Perez in that comic book, because American Chavez was I
can't stand people like I'm sorry, I can't stand people like Gabby Rivera. This is what the fucking industry standards are. If the fucking industry standards is you got to be fucking like Gabby Rivera, you can get the fuck out of here with that. And I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, I need to say this as a Hispanic person. She gives us fucking Hispanics a bad name. Please just stop. Just stop. Just stop. You don't represent the Hispanic culture. No, just don't. Stop with the whole Latinx thing. No, it's not cool. It wasn't cool when you brought it up in your books. It wasn't cool when you try to, run and push America like it was this end-all be-all of comic books, when it was just another trash comic book that it didn't even sell more than indie books, when other companies were fucking taking a pile of shit on her book. Like, get out of here. I never again. Never. No. Never. I'm glad DNC and others made videos just roasting the shit out of these comic books. And it's in Iceman too. Like, get that shit out of here. Like, people want the old OG Iceman. We want the old Iceman back. Okay, can you all give us
Not
the old Iceman?
not hardcore gay porn Iceman. Yeah, yeah, because this is yeah. You might as well just write a hardcore gay porn of Iceman. You know, trying to make his
Cena Grace.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it was Cena Grace.
Yeah, because
that was just.
Yeah, because they're basically making hardcore, because that's what I call him, hardcore gay porn Iceman. That's who he is. That's what they're trying to turn him into. You're gay, therefore you're hardcore gay Iceman. It's like, look, I would rather have a character for what he is, but Jesus Christ, don't try to force the character to be who he is. He was a womanizer back then, but now he's like hardcore gay Iceman. Like he might as well they might as well just do a comic of him, doing gay porn. Like he's a gay porn actor now. Now he's trying to
you just gotta suck. You gotta suck that dick to get your way to the top.
Yep.
Now we're just talking shit.
Hardcore gay Iceman. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I will promote that story to Marvel. I will pitch that in. You need to make, if you want him to be gay, then we're gonna have to make him a gay porn star as a secret identity. Therefore, you want him to be gay, but then again, that's already been taken by Luke Cage. Because you want to know why Luke Cage is gay? Because I consider him gay because he wears a tiara on his head and hangs out with a rich white dude named Iron Fist. No joke.
Oh my god.
He got out.
Yeah, he does.
And he got out of prison. For Christ's sakes, ladies and gentlemen, you guys at Marvel can't make up any ideas. I could make better ideas than those motherfuckers out there than y'all can ever. Because for Christ,
my god, Marvel just does too much. They just try
and you did the cardinal sin of social justiceism. You basically you forced Luke Cage to marry a white woman and have his kid and everything. Like, seriously. And fight crime. That's obvious. It's obvious.
While pregnant, like, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Luke. No, actually, that's not. What that was the actual not Spider-Woman.
No, it wasn't Spider-Woman. I thought he got Spider-Woman pregnant.
No, he didn't impregnate Spider-Woman. It was Jessica Jones, I believe.
Yeah, Jessica. No. Jessica Jones is that fucking TV show. Yeah. No, Spider-Man is isn't her name Jessica Drew? I think that's her name.
Yeah.
I know he had sex with Jessica Jones in the fucking Jessica Jones show. He beat the shit out of her.
Okay. He was formerly married to a woman named Reba Connors until Kilgrave controlled Jessica Jones into killing her, and later appears as a character in the 2006 series Luke Cage, with Chiro Koger serving as showrunner. Luke Cage in Marvel. So, yeah, Jessica Jones are married.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, they are technically married because what happened was they kind of met together because what happened was Kilgrave killed his girlfriend, and he was accused of murder, and he was sent to prison, and thus that whole story began. Because this is like an alternate universe of him. Because the original 70s version was he was his girlfriend got killed in a gang fight, and he was sent to prison, accused of it, and he wanted revenge against them, but he couldn't get out, so he had to go do an experiment. He had to take this experiment in order to, and he got out of there because of that experiment, and he had to wear that thing on his head. And a lot of people used to joke around about him wearing the tiara on his head, like. No joke. That was the like a headband, but originally it was people used to joke around about it a lot on the internet about him using it as a tiara, and he had to take it off. it was sort of funny. He had to take that thing off because people were joking about him wearing it. Like, you're wearing a tiara on your head. Like, it was so funny. I used to remember I think it was like one of the comic books that they kind of expressed that he was wearing why are you wearing why is a brother wearing a tiara on his head? Are you gay or something? I don't know what you're wearing on your head, but that thing, and he argued about it, saying that it's a headband. It was a headband. I wore this because it's a headband. And then they were like, nigga, that's a tiara on your head.
Oh my god, jeez.
Yeah. Because that was the thing.
Dude.
And a lot of people talked about it. Oh, they're bringing up that old video that I brought out.
Which one? Oh.
It's some how to fix the DLC for Fallout 4.
Oh.
A lot of people like to, say it doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work because that was an old video that I made a while back trying to fix the problem.
Yeah.
And I know there's some.
Oh man,
help.
so
No, go ahead.
I think I think we reached the end of our discussion. I don't know how long we've been going. Do you know?
Let's see. Yeah, around 2 hours and 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it right now.
Yeah. Go ahead and end it. Let's close the stream. I think we've practically talked our point. I know we went off subject a few times. I hope we just got to say what we needed to say about the whole Comicsgate drama with DNC, John Malin, and just community in general.
I called it the comic drama because it's like I don't really care for the Comicsgate thing. I understand a lot of people do care about it, and I understand why they care about it.
No, I mean, they're passionate. These guys are passionate because I understand a lot of these guys have been reading comic books for years, and then you have. I'm not gonna lie. When I started getting into I've read comic books when I was young, but I know I got into it more around 2007. Is when I heavily got involved in reading comic books. But I've always loved manga. Manga was the first format I got into, which I'll still love and support. But right now, the comic industry is just turning people away. Though I think, what would you say you got out of this whole situation?
Out of this whole situation, I see that no matter what they're doing with diversity in comics, they're not gonna stop him. They can't. They know they can't because they already fucked up. Because already people are buying the comic book. No matter what he does, no matter what you're saying about him, no matter if you spread the rumors or not, people are gonna look into this outside of it, and it's gonna bite him in the ass because already Jawbreakers is already selling. People are pre-ordering this book because they're curious about the story, because looking at the art and everything, people are impressed by it, and I'm one of those people who like good art and liked a good story, and I'm a bit curious about this story because I never read Jawbreakers before. I know that his old covers that he does were crappy, but this is pretty much an update of his current story. Like right now, he's got the artist, he's got the talented artist that can help him make it happen. Because by the looks of it, he presented a story that people would read.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna make some good. Well, I just want them to make some good money and be wealthy and successful. Like that's the thing. All these people. These SJWs, there's a reason why they're not successful in the industry. They're only successful with getting views on their articles and their little clicks here and there and virtue signaling. But really, they're not really that successful. That stuff doesn't translate into dollars or money.
Because
it just doesn't.
They're not willing to put in the work. And that's the problem.
No.
They're not gonna. They're pretty much trying to yell and complain about one person, and already, right now 6,320 people bought this book right now.
Yeah.
And the next day it's going to be
I don't
7,000. It's going to
but
be 10. It's going to be 10,000 by the time I get all.
oh, I was gonna say to anyone that does listen to this, see if you can go around Facebook, see if there's look into their Facebook groups and screen cap their conversations. Because a lot of these people do a lot of planning behind in private groups, though, if you notice. That's why you ever notice that it's like, where did these guys get all these favorites and retweets? Think about it, it's from these groups. And a lot of these people, they do use bots and algorithms to boost their tweets,
Yeah.
though, so
And
they
I'm not,
do.
and I'm not worried about it because this is something.
Nah.
This is something that
I,
is gonna blow through pretty well for Richard because Richard's already getting a lot of money off of this. That's for sure, and you can tell
yeah.
because he's right now it's at 235,000, and it's ending at May 9th.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think what I'll say what I'll close about this my thoughts about it, honestly, I think I kind of feel like he's winning a championship, like a title or something. It's kind of dominating all of the big players in the game.
Yeah,
Like he's not selling a graphic novel.
yeah,
That's and it's outdoing everything, and the industry is losing its damn minds. Like 6,000 backers. That's a lot of fucking backers for a fucking graphic novel. Like they're making more sales than manga here. They are like, and that's
yeah,
doing a lot good. If they reach up to 7,000,
yeah,
well, let's hope they do
yeah.
reach up.
Because pervert,
I'm gonna
perverts
promote
have,
it on my Instagram account to
yeah,
my friends and see if they're interested in wanting to get it though. So
yeah,
hey, a little promotion doesn't hurt. I'll promote the book, and when the Kickstarter's over, then I'll just delete the link and everything. Though I'm
yeah,
just gonna promote it just to bring awareness to it, though,
yeah. There's also
because I do have
there's
a
also La
little
Muerte.
audience.
There's also La Muerte. That's another comic book you could also promote too for if you want to, man. Anyways, guys,
Yeah,
we gotta
we'll
go.
let it go.
Catch you guys
Just remember,
next time.
just remember, social justice warriors. Just stop. Just stop. Anything you do at this point, it will backfire and bite you on the ass. You failed when you try to destroy the consumer revolt known as Gamergate. You're not going to win over Comicsgate. And plus, many people in Gamergate have sided with Comicsgate. From what I see here and there, though.
Yeah,
But let's end it.
yeah. And the thing is, they pretty much said this themselves that they don't want to talk to you guys because you guys are crazy nut jobs. They can say what you can say whatever you want about them. You can talk about they're harassers and shit, but they realize they don't want to engage with you guys, and they even said it in the rules that don't engage with these people. They don't give a shit about you. They don't even they don't care to reason with anybody. All they give a shit about is their own narrative. So anyways, guys, I gotta go. Take care. Bye bye.